we're going to explore expressive profiles for this particular lesson. So what I mean by that is we're going to use the emotional values of color and shape in an expressive way as we create silhouettes or profiles of our faces. I'm going to base this on the book, The Emotional Color Wheel, which I'll have linked in the description and a link at the end of this video. So the main idea is that you've got to start with a profile, and there's a couple ways to quickly get that. So if you can have a friend tape a piece of paper to a wall and you create a shadow, then you could trace that shadow and be able to get a profile. But if you have a lot of lights like this room, that's not going to work really well. If you have one light on directly across from you, then that will create a nice shadow for you to follow. If you can print out your face on a piece of paper, then you can cut out the profile and then you have something to trace. And if you are unable to do that, then a magazine picture and profile will work as well. Try and pick a face of the same gender as yourself, however you identify, and then that will work for this particular project. You can work either vertical or horizontal for this particular image, as long as your face takes up, a large portion of the paper. And you'll want to make sure that it's fairly centered in your profile, because you're going to do as much inside the face as outside of the face. So let me show you some examples. So here's one that was done, and you can see the profile here, nose, lips, chin, and the inside is supposed to be colors and shapes that represent how we know ourselves to be, kind of our feelings inside. This person used some red for aggressiveness around their mouth, that maybe things come out of their mouth that they didn't feel like they had full control of, but they're very calm in their mind, so they use these blues and purples. And then the outside, you can either think of how you see the outside world or your future, or how the outside world reacts to you. So there's a couple of different ways to interpret the outside area. So our reds are very aggressive, our blues are very calm, green is about growth. So when you review that video of the emotional color wheel, you'll understand all of the symbols that are kind of being used in here. I want to show you that each one of these can be interpreted in very different ways. So here again we have the profile facing in the other direction. And inside the face we have this very colorful, almost a rainbow of colors going on in there, showing that the person has a very colorful personality. But up here we have these angular diamond shapes that are sort of red to orange, so maybe there's something aggressive happening outside their world or is happening towards them from the outside world. So inside is how you know yourself to be, and the outside is how you see the outside world or how the outside world reacts to you. Here's another one facing in the other direction, and they've included their hair profile as well. So we've got the profile of the face here, and then even the neck, and then the hair is included in here. So again, we've got red and blue, so we've got kind of opposites happening in there. So that may show some kind of inner struggle. Outside looks very hopeful. We've got a rainbow of colors, which may be that there are many different experiences or something the student is looking forward to in their future life. Here's another couple of examples. So again, we have the profile here, and I like how the line goes from thick to thin to thick to thin again. So we get a variety of line quality, which is really good. So that kind of exceeds expectations on the project. Again, the inside is representing the different aspects of the student and how they feel inside, and the outside is either how they see the outside world or how the outside world reacts to them. Again, here we have the profile, the forehead, the eyes, nose, lips, chin. And the inside you can see is very complicated. We have almost fire coming out of the mouth, so they seem to be very aggressive and maybe have some control issues there. And then the outside world is very calm. We have a lot of green for growth, some orange for some struggle, and then down here we have some orange and red again for struggle. But we see lots of blues and greens. Browns are representing hard work, so maybe this is how they see their future. This was done with a community that was in a farming community, so maybe these are plowed lines in the earth and the hard work it takes to be a farmer. So there are many ways of kind of interpreting these. And the nice thing is you don't have to worry about facial proportions too much. What we're looking for is the expressive quality of what we're doing. So we're going to take a look at this profile here. And remember, we can do it either vertical or horizontal. And if you do the cutout, there's a nice little trick you can do to get a nice line variety. And that is to go ahead and center the face, trace along the edge. But you could do this just by tracing your shadow, just having a friend or family member trace your shadow. And then I'm going to put this one close and then move it out of the way and trace again. And this will almost give us a calligraphic line that creates the outline of the face. You can see that's a nice dynamic sort of line, and we like that when we can have lines change from thin to thick. And then you would go ahead and use your Sharpie pen or any kind of permanent marker to go ahead and follow along and fill in that gap. And then you're going to use the information from the emotional color wheel to put in colors and shapes and patterns that represent how you know yourself to be. And that's going to be all on the inside. And the outside, again, can be how you see the world around you or how you feel the outside world sees you. So at the end, you will need to do a little bit of writing and explain your color choices and what the shapes and the colors mean. If you feel like some of the information is too personal, you're welcome to be vague about the information so you feel safe in sharing at the level that you're comfortable with. Okay? So go ahead, and we're going to do this first as a sketch, probably just in some copy paper, something small to get our ideas down, and then we will do it on final paper, and you can use the materials that are made available to your teacher. My students will be able to use any material that they've used so far this semester, whatever they're most comfortable with, to do the decoration on the inside and the outside. Again, the inside is how you know yourself to be, and the outside is how you see the outside world, how you view your future, or how the outside world sees you.